Hi, welcome to Moonlit Fly Fishing tonight. I'm Brandon Moon, and for fly tying night tonight, we're going to be tying up one of my confidence patterns, the purple Frenchie soft hackle nymph, or a purple pheasant tail soft hackle nymph. It's basic. The Frenchie is basically a simplified version of the pheasant tail nymph, and this is a very effective pattern for me. I prefer fishing it in purple, but have tied and fished it successfully in a wide variety of colors from olive, natural, black, and orange. So with that, we want to go ahead and get started real quick. The hook we're going to be using today is the Moonlit Premium Togata ML502. I use this hook in the size 12s and 14s because I like the heavier hook gauge on this. In the size 16, I use the ML501. But you can use the ML501 in either size. The thread we're using is the Simplified Classic Wax 12-aught Floral Orange. We'll start that off right behind the bead, wrap it nice and smooth all the way back to the bend of the hook. I'll snip it out with my razor blade so I get a nice clean cut there, and then I'll take a clump of pheasant tail fibers and we're just going to secure this in at the bend of the hook there. I'm going to measure that out. I want it to be about 3/4 the length of the hook shank. It's a little longer than I want it, so I'm going to just kind of pull that until it's the length I want it to be. I don't want a real long tail on this, so I'm going to go in front of that and lock it in place one time, and then underneath the tail to help secure that vertically. Now I'm going to pull my pheasant tail fiber back and wrap over the top of it. This allows me to get more use out of that pheasant tail fiber. I'm going to take Simplify's 2mm purple non-tarnishing fly tying wire, and I'm going to tie this in on the side here, and I want the length of the wire to be roughly about the length of all the way up to the bead, to where I'm going to secure this wire all the way down, and then I'm going to go forward. Now I'm going to create a little taper with my thread here. So I'm going to go back to where I pulled over the pheasant tail fibers, and then I'll go forward again. Now I'm going to go back about 3/4 of the way forward, and then I'll go back halfway, and then I'll go forward again. This is just going to help create a little bit of a taper to this body. I'll half hitch that off here to where I'm going to take my Loon ergonomical hackle pliers and secure the tips of these pheasant tail fibers. And once I've got the tips secured in there, I'm just going to twist it up so that it cords up the pheasant tail fibers a little bit. This is how I like to do it versus just wrapping it. And I'll keep twisting this as I go. I'm just going to wrap this, and you can see that's going to give me a little bit of a hot spot butt with that orange thread as well. And I'll keep this and I'll wrap touching wraps as I go forward. And as I need to, I'll twist this again so that I keep it corded. I like how it wraps this way. You can see a little bit of a segmentation naturally that way as well. I'm going to wrap this all the way up as far as I can go up to the bead, where I'm going to take my thread and I'm going to crisscross from behind to front to behind and front again. One more time in front. That secures and locks everything down. I'll release the fibers so that I can trim them out. We'll trim those out real quick. Once I've trimmed those out, I'm going to take and just wrap over and try and secure them just a little bit more. Once we've done that, we can trim out the tag end pieces a little bit more. I'll half hitch this so I can wrap my wire using the rotary function again. And you'll see I'll try and trim this out just a little bit more. It just helps keep it a little bit cleaner. Now we'll take the rotary feature and go the opposite direction with the open spiral wraps. And we're going to go all the way up into the bead of this hook, where I'll take and secure and tie this off over the top. and then in front. Now I'm just going to helicopter this out real quick and clean that up. Going the opposite direction with the wire helps secure this down, makes it a more durable fly. Now we're going to take some Moonlit pine squirrel dubbing in purple. Dub's really nice. I'll take a small amount, put it on there. You can see how it grips nice to my thread. A little bit more. And this is going to help create a nice good thorax on this and cover up those tag ends that are still, you can see there. I'm going to take my rotary feature, you don't have to create my thorax and wrap over the top in that section. I want my thorax to be about a bead's length. Now I'm going to take an already prepped India henback saddle in light variant. You can see it was already prepped up there. Now I'm going to create a tie-in point with that little triangle there. I'm going to wrap over the top of that with 2 wraps, pull it back, and 1 wrap in front. Set my thread off to the side on the bobbin rest where I'm going to trim out that tag end piece. And I like to tie mine in this way because I feel like it gives me a more secure tie-in point than just cutting off that triangle and going over the top of that small piece. You can trim up this hackle stem if you want. I'm going to leave it and take my tie flies hackle tweezers, and I'm going to start wrapping this and preening the fibers as I wrap. You can see I'm preening and palmering them backwards with my fingers. I'm also using the hackle stem to help palmer that back, and that's going to help give me a nice clean look to this without having to clean it up too much at the end. Set my hackle tweezers off to the back, pull the hackle fibers back a little bit, and a few wraps to help create the collar. I'm going to take some Loctite super glue with the brush. This is one of my favorite ways to finish flies. Helps make them nice and durable. 2 wraps over the top of that. Now I'm going to take my whip finish tool and give it 2 or 3 wraps on the whip finish. That glue is going to help seat in on the whip finish even and really secure this knot down, make it a more durable fly. Now I'm going to trim out the thread with my razor blade, then trim out the stem of the hackle there as well. Now there's an unruly hackle fiber there. I'm going to take my fingers and I'm just going to preen that out. And there you have the purple Frenchie soft hackle nymph. Thank you.